Hey guys, it's Kara
and Jenna.
And today on Kara and Jenna Love Cameras, we're going to talk about the best times of year to do family photos. So do you have a favorite time of year to do?
I mean, probably fall, but like I want to do like what most people in the world would consider winter, like because that's when we get fall. So like early December.
When it's cold.
When it's cold. I want it to be cold. I want to be snuggly, like, and be outside with like, fall colors and all that.
But we don't get fall colors.
Well, we do for like 2 weeks, beginning of December, at that one park.
Yes. Yeah, I think I like spring because we actually get flowers.
Yes. And it's usually comfortable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, because it's almost fall, we're going to talk about both. We're going to talk about spring and fall. But because Houston doesn't really get fall-ish, other than the one park. We'll talk about fall first. So we don't really, if you don't know, we live in Houston, and we don't get 4 seasons.
Yeah.
We really only get
we get like 2.5.
Yeah.
It's like hot, spring, and winter.
Winter for like a month.
Yeah, a very short period of time. But like, December, January, maybe a little February.
Yeah. So let's talk about fall first. We do get kind of a fall, and we take a lot of fall photos from like October, September-ish.
Sometimes we have people in September. It's just still kind of hot here. So, if you're doing September, you just have to go into it knowing
It's
gonna be a little sweaty. So.
Yeah. So we go from September to December sometimes.
Yeah, well, in December, people typically are not needing their pictures before Christmas. They're just wanting family photos. Maybe they want albums or something like that.
Yeah. So we do a lot, though. We shoot a lot in fall. Typically, always people need the holiday card type of things. Again, what we said, we don't have the beautiful foliage. We do have one park in the Woodlands that does. So things are typically kind of brownish and green. Still.
Yeah, and you might get a little bit of yellow.
Yes.
Yellow leaves.
Yes.
But it's still a nice time to take photos just because the weather is cooling off and, I don't know, there's just a crispness in the air that somehow translates into the photos.
Yes. Yes, and if you're lucky enough, hopefully this year will be, hopefully we'll cross our fingers, that it will be cool.
Cool even worse.
Cool. Sometimes it's still hot, but because people always want to bust out their boots and their sweaters, and I'm always like, don't do it. It's gonna be hot.
And if that is what you want, book early and book.
Yeah, November.
Plan your session early, but book your session for later in the month or later in the season. So
yeah, because typically the people who do like Thanksgiving, the last week of November, those are cool.
Yeah, and I would say November is probably our busiest month always because it has good weather typically. October, it can be fickle. Yeah. I remember getting a pumpkin one year and I got a sunburn. Like
it was October, you never
know. You never know what you're going to get in October.
Yeah.
But it still has, still has a nice look. It's just a little warm.
Yeah. I love fall.
Yeah.
My birthday's in fall, so it makes me happy. But yeah, so and I do love pictures because we do Santa in November. I do love pictures in December, because we do some Christmas-y pictures in December and even January. Yeah, I like it all.
Yep.
So that's fall, Christmas-ish stuff. But my favorite, as I said, is spring. I love spring. So March, April-ish. It's cooler, flowers, wildflowers. We in Houston have wildflowers everywhere.
And just a lot blooming, even that's maybe not wild. If you're just in a park, they sometimes do flower beds and things like that. But I would say spring is probably, so November being our biggest month, and I would think April is a very close second.
Yes.
And the weather in April is pretty much always nice.
Yeah.
It's very green, a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
It's a good
And
time for
the
flowers.
lighting is very different between
Mhm.
spring and fall. I can't tell you how, but it's just
I know
different.
what you mean. I almost want, and it probably has a little bit to do with the color of the foliage, because I feel like fall has warmer tones, more of the reds, yellows, and spring has cooler, more of the blues, and maybe some greens as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both very pretty. Just
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I really like spring. I think I like the greens in the backgrounds, because our kind of thing is when the sun comes through the trees. I'm not so much of a fan of the sun coming through the yellow trees.
Mhm.
That's not my thing.
Yep.
But I do love the sun coming through the green, the dark green trees.
Mhm.
It's my thing. So, and I always, which is weird, I would have said I always like when I have my family shot in the spring, which I haven't had in a really long time. It always ends up that we shoot in the fall because we have more time that time. But yeah, so my favorite's spring. Anywho, anything else about favorite time?
No, but I would say that those are two of our busiest times too.
Yes.
So with those two, whether you want spring and all the goodness that comes with that, or fall and the goodness that comes with that, you're going to probably want to at least reach out. Maybe you don't have to book, but if you've at least reached out, then Kara knows, okay, I know they want a session. And so if things start filling up,
Yes.
we'll get them in here.
Book early.
So, yeah.
Because also with that, there are a lot of babies born in spring and fall, which is weird because you wouldn't think that, but we have a lot of newborns during that time too. So
Yeah, specifically spring, I feel like.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and during spring is graduation time too, so we have a lot of graduates during that. So just a busy time. And yeah, so if you need anything or you have any questions, you can put them down below. We'll get back to you on that. And I think that's it. So hope that answered a couple questions, and we'll get back to you soon.
See you later.
Thanks so much.